Isn't it great to be a Republican? Ron Johnson, we're very fortunate. We're fortunate you ran, that you won, and you've never lost your moorings one bit. You're still the gentleman from Oshkosh, Brown County, Winnebago County, that believes in the future of America. David Karst, thank you very much. Rebecca Clayfish, you're not only the most intelligent, articulate, but also the most beautiful Lieutenant Governor in the United States. And Vicki McKenna, if I had the power, I would have you cloned and placed in every city in America. What an individual, what a champion. Mary Bustrom, Brad Kahn, Courtney, thank you so very much for your leadership of the party. And then we have this Kenosha Flash, Rights Freeze, I don't know what's in the water in Wisconsin. We always have to fix things that are broken. You notice that? Reince Priebus, the party was broke. Reince Priebus went to Washington. He served and saved the National Republican Party, and he made this all possible. You are absolutely take a look at tonight. I have some really emotional feelings about this dinner. Last year I was here, we had a contested primary. We all spoke, and I left the dinner. Some of you knew this because I had to go to Tomah, Wisconsin to see my brother for the last time. A lot of you remember my brother Eddie Thompson from the teepee. He died that night. After I left here, I got there and I held him. And so in my brother's memory tonight, I'm going to dedicate this speech to him, because I never met a tougher person in my life than my brother. And he wasn't always a Republican, more a libertarian, but he, like every American that I meet, loves this country. And I look at this country, ladies and gentlemen, and I look at this election. I look at this election, and every so often in America, there is one election that has to be fought to save America. I have said before when I was a candidate that it was a very special election. But no election is more important than any of us have ever been involved in than this election. The last monumental election was 1980 when Ronald Reagan took over the political party at the horizon. And he made the world safe. He made America the only superpower. And for the last 25 to 35 years, we've been living in Ronald Reagan's memory. And 4 years ago, an individual came on and promised hope and change. Hope and change for the future of America. And even though we didn't support him, we hoped he would be successful. because he is the president. And we Republicans have respect for the office. We always have. Can't say so much for the other side, but we Republicans have respect. And we have got a president that has absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, failed. He's failed hope and change. It has evaporated. It's been a mirage. And he absolutely has failed to deliver, failed to stand up, failed to make changes, and failed to help America. 23.5 million Americans are without work, without hope, without any chance unless we change. We have college graduates who are going home to live with mother and dad because they cannot find employment. And we have a president that says he's gone from hope and change, which failed, to forward. Forward, ladies and gentlemen. Forward. The country's going backwards, and if we re-elect him, we will be backward, and we will no longer be the America that we all cherish and believe in. This election, ladies and gentlemen, is about two different philosophies. Two different visions for our great country. A vision of class division, a vision of Barack Obama raising taxes, increasing rules and regulations that's going to bankrupt community bankers, the paper industry, and a healthcare system that 62% of the people that know anything about it have said no way, not now, not ever. One that is going to lead to rationing of health care and an absolute abdication of your individual rights to pick your doctor and hospital and give it to the federal government. Or we can go with a vision, ladies and gentlemen, of opportunity, job creation, entrepreneurs risking their capital, building businesses, creating jobs again in America, giving college graduates a chance to move out and live on their own and have a job and raise a family, and to solve America's problems. I was so pleased when Mitt Romney chose Paul Ryan, because what it told me, ladies and gentlemen, that Paul Ryan has always preached. That he said, if you are a Republican, you have a moral responsibility to solve America's problems. And when he chose Paul Ryan, it told the world that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan are not going to be a president and vice president like we've ever known. They're going to go to Washington and they don't care what problems there are. They're going to take those problems on one by one and solve them and rebuild America and give us the hope, the opportunity, and the chance to be the superpower once again, leading the world, leading opportunity, creating jobs, creating wealth, and it's going to make things happen. That's what it says, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan deserve everything we can do for the next 18 days. there's never been an election like this, where a president has not delivered, has not led, and has really reached the point where he doesn't really know what's happening in the country or the world. That's pretty sad. Now, I have an election, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think there's a stark difference between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, let me talk to you about Tommy and Tammy. I had the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to leave Elroy with 2 shirts and 1 sweater and a Thompson grocery store paper bag. That was my possessions. I didn't know what a suitcase was. Didn't know that you're supposed to have that to go to college. I lived in a boarding room where I plus food and worked like everybody else, worked my way through college. In law school. I ran for election at the age of 23 and got elected. Only in America. Only in America, ladies and gentlemen, could that take place. And I'm not any different than anybody in this room. Every single one of you have a story about what you've been able to accomplish because you live in the greatest country in the world. The United States of America. And that country, ladies and gentlemen, is in trouble. We are $16 trillion. $16 trillion in debt. 10 trillion of it since Barack Obama, since Tammy Baldwin's been in Congress. $6 trillion since Barack Obama has been president. That's more debt, ladies and gentlemen, that was accumulated in this country from George Washington to George H.W. Bush. That's 212 years. That scares me. We've gone over the gross national product, which is $15 trillion. And when you go above the gross national product, the people who watch debt look at it and say, you're probably a little scary here. And they've downgraded our debt level and grade twice. Did any of us in America ever thought that was possible? I never thought it was. I never thought anybody would ever question America's debt. And we are in a position to be like Greece. I don't think so. And I love people from Greece. I just don't like America to become Greece. It scares me. I look at the fact that 40 cents out of every dollar, ladies and gentlemen, is borrowed mainly from the Chinese. Every Social Security check, every Medicare check, 40 cents come from the Chinese. Does that make you feel comfortable? And then, ladies and gentlemen, they haven't had the courage to pass a budget or vote on a budget in 3.5 years in the United States Senate. 3.5 years, they spent $9.5 trillion. Every governor, every school board, every president of a company has to pass a budget every year or else you're going to be fired. When I get elected, with Ron Johnson's help, I'm going to put a resolution in if they have not passed a budget. By April 30th, put in a resolution and say if you haven't passed the budget, you don't get paid. Simple. Then I take a look at my opponent. I cut taxes 91 times. She's voted for 159 tax increases. I was able to change welfare with the help of a lot of people in this room. She voted against it. When she was in the legislature, we put the largest property tax relief ever in the history of the state. Not once, but twice, she voted against it. We passed a budget, balanced budget every year for 14 years, and she voted against it. She is an individual. When she had the opportunity, when EPA come in and put rules against our paper industry that's going to cost us 7,500 jobs, she was only one out of the Wisconsin delegation to vote for EPA. I had the privilege, ladies and gentlemen, after 9/11, to be charged by Vice President Cheney to protect the public health. And I was responsible for getting 50 tons of medical supplies to the city of New York by 5 o'clock on 9/11. Every one of us remembers where we were. We got 50 tons of medical supplies up there, and the following day, I was in the city walking down towards the Twin Towers with Rudy Giuliani and Governor Pataki. Took them up 200,000 masks and gloves for the volunteers. It was absolutely surreal. You walked down, everybody was moving, stop-and-go lights were not working, but not one person blew their horn. The debris was thick, so you could not see the heavens. Nobody talked. And there were many wonderful, dedicated people. I went to the hospital and met the people that were injured and some that were dying. I held their hands and looked at them in their eyes and thanked them for being such wonderful people. The Congress, ladies and gentlemen, introduced a resolution to commend the survivors and the families. Everybody pretty much in the legislature, in the Congress, voted for that resolution, except for Tammy Baldwin. She is extreme for Wisconsin. She's extreme for America. She's out of touch, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot afford to allow her to be elected as a United States Senator. We got a huge crisis in the Middle East. We got a huge crisis in the Middle East, and Tammy Baldwin received $60,000 from an organization that does not support sanctions and believes that the Ayatollah and that nut for the Prime Minister, Ahmadinejad, should continue. She voted against America's interest, voted against Israel, and voted for Iran not to place sanctions. She's an individual, ladies and gentlemen, is too extreme for America and too extreme for Wisconsin. I need your help, ladies and gentlemen. I want to represent you, not because I need the job, and not because I need anything more on my resume. I've already accomplished more than anybody from Elroy ever thought I could. I'm running for the right reason, ladies and gentlemen, just like Ron Johnson did, and just like you are proud Republicans. We are going to take that hill that Vicki McKenna talks about. We're taking our country back, and we are going to restore the Constitution. We're going to restore hope and confidence and belief that America is an exceptional country and that Americans are exceptional people, and we do not have to apologize. Once again, end with a nightmare. The nightmare is this. We know what we have to do. But I want you really, in the deepest recesses of your heart and mind to think what kind of a country will America be? If Obama gets reelected and Harry Reid remains the majority leader. No elections, nobody there to stop him. Ron Johnson will be there. But if Harry Reid's the majority leader, ladies and gentlemen, and Obama is the president, we have a country that's going in the wrong direction too fast, too much to really change. That's why this election is the election for 20 years. It's the direction that we're going to lead, is the direction that this country's going to follow for 20 years. We cannot afford Obama and Harry Reid and Tammy Baldwin for 4 more years. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to retake the hill, climb that hill, build America, build our economy, and make sure it does not happen. God love you. God love you.